want the sister to introduce herself, tell us a little bit about herself and why we're talking to you today.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Andrea Davis, and I'm the founder and producer of International Reggae Day. This is a 27-year-old celebration. It may be new to some, but for many, it's an annual calendar event that seeks to connect Jamaica, Kingston in particular, as the home of Jamaican music, with our partners around the world, where seeds have been planted with our culture and where the garden has blossomed with homegrown versions of ourselves that we want to connect with and continue to celebrate with and to share what we have as a national treasure and an international gift in the form of Jamaican music culture.
Yeah, wow. First of all, but you know what? When you say how long it's been going on for, did yourself find this particular company, this particular place? Was it yourself and a group of others? How did it all begin? I want to know how it all kicked off and happened.
Well, it was inspired many years ago by a speech I heard given by Mama Winnie Mandela when she visited Jamaica along with her husband after his release from prison. And, they came to Jamaica because reggae music led the way in terms of international awareness and the fight against apartheid. Long before it became popular, long before it became mainstream, it was Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Burden Spear, artists of that nature, Mighty Diamonds, who were singing for the freedom of the people of South Africa. And so due respect was given in making Jamaica one of their first stops on its release.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to be in a room full of women that she spoke to in Kingston. And she spoke about the power of the music to help uplift, inspire them in their fight against apartheid, and how they had to sneak the music in on white labels because it was illegal in South Africa at the time. Reggae music was so feared as a change that it was banned in South Africa. And so they would sneak in Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and listen in the corners, in the rooms, in the dark, right? Like subversives, listening to this music from a tiny island all the way across the globe. And as the seeds from Africa have been planted around the world, and as the children, our ability, our capacity to be able to give back, to be able to reconnect, to be able to strengthen the roots, make the branches that much stronger. And it was inspiring to me, and it was inspiring also to realize that reggae music was also present when the Berlin Wall fell. Reggae music has been present when Zimbabwe got independence. Reggae music has been present across the planet where freedom and equal rights and justice has been the cry, where the marginalized have not had a voice. It has been reggae music that has opened up the eyes of the world to consciousness, to awakening, to a Pan-African Garveyite perspective on the planet, something that as a movement fueled by the philosophy of Rastafari and the teachings of His Majesty. It has really given way to an awakening on the planet that I think reggae, like hip-hop, can take claim to in the absence of formal education. It's the reason we have Black Lives Matter today. It's the reason we're able to have another generation ready to fight the fight, because popular culture has been a part of what has allowed us to move the shackles off the eyelids and allow the blind to see.
Yeah, well, most definitely. Can't disagree with any of that. But what's this? Something about reggae music that really hits me is that it speaks to the people. And for me, myself, when I was going through difficult times, reggae music was the one that I was playing. So I wanted to know, why did you choose to get involved in International Reggae Day? What was that passion?
Well, it's in my DNA. I'm a Jamaican.
Yeah.
And it's our soundtrack. It's the soundtrack to our lives. Jamaican music. We have 6 different genres, and we have a sound system culture that allows us to take it in our suitcase wherever we go. And that cultural umbilical cord is what feeds my soul. So this has first and foremost been a passion of love for my country, for my culture, for my music, for my people, and for the ability of my culture to connect people around the world. And in this time it's become an exercise also in how to harness the power of the music, the media, and the technology.
Yeah.
To create a platform for change, to create a platform for unity, to unify, inspire, and uplift humanity, to be able to centralize a conversation around something as simple yet as profoundly revolutionary as one love. And our ability to connect in this time of social distancing / physical distancing. We need to be socially connected. So, reggae music is like water. It mixes well with everything if you have the right proportion. And, it is the healing water from the shores of Jamaica to the world. And we want to water the garden on July 1. Although we celebrate reggae music every day. We walk it, we eat it, we look it, we feel it. We love it. But July 1, we're inviting the world to rally with us. We're doing a virtual One Love rally this year. Again, going back to the essential message of reggae music, One Love, which is a principle and an affirmation. Before Bob Marley made it a worldwide anthem, made it the Millennium Song of the Millennium, it was Marcus Garvey who ended his speeches with the words One Love, as a rallying cry to Black people around the world. And as it was contextualized later by Rastafari and broadened into a philosophy and a way of life, had then been taken on by the King of Reggae and made an anthem around the world that to this day has become, it is a verb, it is an action, it is an affirmation, it's so much more than a kumbaya.
Definitely.
Right. That's really what we want to touch, and we want to look at the many faces of this one love, because it is both spiritual and romantic. It is for yourself, it is for your family, it is for your country, your culture, your community, and of course the climate that we live in that is changing so rapidly. It has to be for the planet.
Definitely. Wow. And you know what, sis? I have to ask you, what's your opinion and your thoughts about the world, how it's changing, how reggae is changing? I've seen lots of different talks about responsibility of music, and I want to know your thoughts. What's your thoughts about nowadays and music and what's happening?
Well, we used to talk about the coming of the Gideon. This is the Gideon. So there are things that are happening around and about us that it's time for this is the time they are to happen. The question is, how do you ride the tsunami? How do you stay in the light that allows you to see the other side of the tunnel? Because these are troubling times. I mean, we're just coming out of a global pandemic where the world has been locked down in a way it hasn't been locked down in 100 years. We're on the verge of existential threat from climate change, where the level of violence and racism and poverty in the world is staggering. So, it's a difficult time, but in that time, music has always, and art, retains the power it has to transform space, not just physical space, but mental space. And to the extent that we continue to have creatives that continue to express truth, and that continue to be authentic artists, to be able to stimulate thought and to create beauty in the world. Back to what do we have to fight the tide that we're facing? And one very strong tools in our kits as a human race is love. And that's why we're really happy that we're, aligning again this message of one love, and we're happy to do it in association with the Bob Marley Group, in creating a moment within our 24-hour celebration that will signal to the world this profound revolutionary message of one love through a pull-up. We're doing at 12:05 Jamaica time. And in that pull-up, we're asking radio stations, online platforms, fans, anywhere you are, to play Bob Marley's One Love. And the remix that was done last year for UNICEF and the children, the aid out of Corona. And then follow that track with Love and Hate by Dennis Brown. The Crown Prince, whose memorial is July 1, and we want to honor and recognize and remember his tremendous contribution to the culture and to the music. And then we will end with a classic from Wailing Souls, Jah Give Us Life. Wow. So that rally is also going to be expressed through our fan wall. We have a virtual wall in partnership with Kudo Boards, who has come on board to give us a virtual space when we can centralize and register the attendance of all the fans of reggae music and in the community around the world. You're going to post on your own platform, but we also wanted to post on this central rally platform so we can visibly demonstrate the reach and depth of reggae's community.
Definitely. Wow. But you know what? For those who are listening and trying to figure out why the July the 1st, why July the 1st?
Well, you know, when the idea came from the father, it came with a date. So I didn't question it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to me because, you know, the initial ambition of Reggae Day, when it was formed, it was just Reggae Day. And it was really about Jamaica and trying to do something to address the tide of violence and, you know, the turn that the music was taking at that time.
Yeah.
And it was before the internet. So it was really Reggae Day. And we were looking to try and raise the standard of media play, of content that was being played on the airways, of encouraging good production of quality music.
Yeah.
When the internet was introduced in '96, we added the international because then it became possible to create bridges to communities around the world.
Wow.
And that has continued to be our blueprint in how to build bridges with an international community we recognize to be in existence in every continent on the planet.
Most definitely. And you know, I'm so happy because reggae has reached all four corners of the world. No matter where you go, reggae is playing for real.
Yeah,
definitely.
We give thanks to Bob Marley and the many generals in the army, from Toots and the Maytals to Burning Spear, Hugh Roy, Peter Tosh, and the many Dennis Brown, and many of them, even this generation now, you know, that continue that work.
Yeah.
You know, it is a lot of work to be able to spread the message of reggae music, but it is a work of passion and a work with love that we do it.
Yeah. And,
you know, love all the fans out there and to the fellow reggae community, the artists in the reggae community beyond the shores of Jamaica. Right? In the national Jamaican music industry, what we want to continue to build stronger ties and bridges, collaborations, and ways that we as a community globally can become a more empowered and impacting force in the markets.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? One thing I love about what you do is you do discussions, you do panels, you bring the radios together, you do lots of different things and bring so many people together. Where did this great idea come from?
Well, it came again like a blueprint. I mean, my work over the years has been involved in building brands, and in developing event experiences, both physical and virtual. So combining all those skill sets and working with a very talented team of creatives and technicals, try each year to tell us a chapter of the story of Jamaican music culture, to celebrate a milestone or institution that has made that difference, and also to connect the world in innovative ways to allow for the community to express itself, but also to connect with itself. Yeah. And the root of that is to embrace the power of the media, particularly. Yeah. To really change the narrative and also to change the energy in the space. You know, the media, perhaps more than any other socializing agent, is the power tool in this age. That is our kids. It's what's feeding into the mindset that we're dealing with. So we want to really challenge and encourage media to dig deep, but not just serve a regular meal, but make a special meal. Yeah. You know, the Kat-a-lyst are the great meals. Definitely.
And you know what? One thing that I was so happy about was that there's a female such as yourself running something like this, because a lot of times in music it is male dominated, and when I seen that it was a sister, I was like, yes. But I want to know, have you faced any kind of controversy, any kind of challenges in that regard?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're living in a patriarchal society, and the challenges that exist for women everywhere in the world in being treated equally and being taken seriously and being given the opportunities to be at the table in some ways. But I've been blessed in my journey to connect with people that have empowered me in that way. So we build on what we have and do what we can. And I sit on the shoulders of people who have done great things. So even though the number of women in the music industry, for instance, in Jamaica, has been small in the past, it all started with a woman. It was Miss Lou, as a recording artist in Jamaica, and the first one to really embrace patois and make it a language that is respected by Jamaicans, first of all, to the point that is how we express ourselves, and now that the world wants to learn how to speak like us. So it is that she left as a footprint that allowed for the mid smalls the Miss Pats from DPs, the Norma Dodds from Studio One, the Sonia Pottingers and those early women, the Marcia Griffiths and Phyllis Dillon, and you know all of the early female artists, the I3s, right, into the next generation of. Then you had a lot of 80s and 90s into the Diana Kings and the Chevelle Franklins and Nadine Sutherlands and Patras and all of those into the stage where we are now. The garden is in full bloom with young women who are making strides and making a difference, from Lila Ike and Coffee to Silvana and Jazzy. So there's a great, of course, internationally, people like Hemper, Sativa, all over the world. Yeah. There are such a generation in the army, and it augurs well for the music. It augurs well for the culture. And it augurs well for humanity that there will continue to be a voice of consciousness that can push against the tide of garbage that is overwhelming the planet.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so powerful as well to see people such as yourself in these positions. It's definitely inspirational. And of course, like you said, the up and coming is inspirational as well, because it's inspiring me, seeing a female such as yourself. You're doing great things and it's amazing. And I wanted to ask you, when it comes...
Great things.
Definitely. And when it comes to reggae music, what would you say is kind of the tunes that you would put on?
Oh, wow. My love for Jamaican music starts from, like I said, from the roots to the branches.
Yeah.
But in reggae in particular, of course, Bob Marley, any album, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
But my list is deep, and it goes from Dennis Brown and Burning Spear and Toots and the Maytals, Peter Tosh, through the generations, Morgan Heritage, Taurus Riley, Dean Frazier, there's so many names to call. I mean, even in the launch we did a while ago, we had Chromatic, Heavy D from Chromatic playing a few sets. And there was so much music packed into the few minutes he played. It really is awesome, the level of talent that's coming from here, much less the global community of reggae that exists.
Yeah.
From the Chronics and the Protege right now, to the next generation of what's coming next, the Spit Marleys and the young ladies are coming with fire. Yeah. So loving the continued growth, loving the fact that there's a lot more women both in front of and behind the mic in the business. I think it augurs well for the growth of the business as well.
Yeah.
It's new fresh ideas, fresh approaches, and fresh relationships to add to the foundation that has been built for the first 50 years. And we want to continue to be a part of that bridge building and to be a platform for the industry and for the creatives to meet, eat, and collaborate.
Definitely. And when it comes to music and young people up and coming in this business, what do you kind of look for?
Well, obviously talent.
Yeah.
The ability to think outside the box, to be authentic to themselves, to be curious enough to continue to want to learn. Because when you think you know it all, that's when you're past your prime.
Yeah.
But to have that continue and to have the passion. I think passion drives a lot. I mean, if it wasn't for passion, we wouldn't be talking about Jamaican music 50 years on.
Yeah.
Because it's been for, any kind of government structure or any kind of formal education or any kind of institutionalized financing. It has been the sweat and tears of creative entrepreneurs from the very beginning.
Yeah.
From Clement Dodd to Duke Reid, to every generation of producer that has taken the money to build a studio and to produce an artist and pay musicians to make a record and barely sell. Yeah. It is that continuous flow of creative content that has distinguished Jamaica as a powerhouse in the market, but it has spawned an international Jamaican music industry that benefits only Jamaicans, but many, many more times it benefits those outside of Jamaica who see the value of our music, invest in our music, and take it to the next.
Definitely. And I wanted to ask you about that because Jamaica and Jamaican culture, it influences the world so much, even to how people dress, people talk, everything like that. And I wanted to know, do you feel like Jamaica gets enough, I'm going to say, credit for what they actually do?
Well, the good thing about Jamaica, we don't wait on nobody to give us credit. We take what we do to us. So be shy to tell you that we gave birth to hip hop. We're not going to be shy to tell you we gave birth to EDM.
Yeah.
We're not shy to tell you that reggaeton is 90s dancehall. We're not shy to let you know that is a dialect and a language honed by the experience of the people of Jamaica. So to that extent, I think Jamaicans are among the most proud people on the planet when it comes to claiming our nationality. We make everybody else want to be Jamaican.
Yeah.
But to the extent that, for instance, the dance is being absorbed into pop music culture without the credits, I see as the issue there not so much even about the people outside of ourselves that are using or tapping into our culture, but I see the not to harness our culture in a better way, not to create infrastructure and the ecosystem that allows for sustainable development, that allows for training, that allows for certification, that allows our dancers who create the moves to be doctors of dance and be able to talk in universities, just as the people they teach when they come to Jamaica, who are end up going back home and can do that and then become the experts in our culture. So while we invite and welcome, participation and appreciation of our culture, it is up to us to create a space for ourselves in something we've created. And part of that is going to be, giving it the respect that is due, investing it in the way it needs to be invested in so that we can have generations of creatives, not just the artists, but the songwriters, the arrangers, the producers, the musicians, the people on the business side, the people that are going to protect all this property, or we're going to market it, who are going to, monetize it, who are going to commercialize it, who are going to preserve it. How do we deal with it holistically? And then we can start talking about returns to Jamaica. Until then, it's a passionate hustle that has paid us well, but not one that we have yet to be paid properly with.
Yeah, most definitely.
We're back. We're live and direct once again. Okay, we're getting ready. We're counting down. And you know what, sis? I want to know, how can people get involved in this great event that you're doing?
Well, the hub is ireggaeday.com. That's where all our connectivity is based. If you come on the website, you'll be able to see where everything is happening. On social media, we're at ireggaeday Twitter.
I knew what you meant.
On Instagram, on Instagram and Facebook, we're at internationalreggae.com. So getting involved is as easy as wear your colors, playing some good Jamaican music that day, logging on and joining us on the 24-hour broadcast that we're doing, and also taking time to visit our One Love rap wall that we're doing in association with Kudo Boards, where in addition to posting your feelings about reggae music on your own platform, we're inviting the world to come to a central space, Rally Point, where they can express what reggae music, One Love means to you, whether you're doing it by song, by dance, video, or still photograph, or just a poem. We accept all expressions of love and creativity around what the music and the culture has inspired for you.
Wow, looking forward to it. And so there's now 4 days to go, and I know you're doing lots of preparation, getting everything ready.
Yes.
So, tell the listeners, what preparation are you doing?
Well, because this is a virtual festival. Again, we've been advocating for virtual the birth of the blueprint in 1994, but at the time technology didn't allow for. So as the technology grew and the internet appeared, we were able to become International Reggae Day. Now in the last year, we've been talking about, in the last 2 years, about layering our physical events with a virtual media festival that connects media around the world.
Wow.
Well, here comes COVID, and all of a sudden the world is in a virtual space. So last year we were able to really manifest that virtual blueprint in a new way, where we had a central hub, which is able to reflect the participation of the reggae community from Africa to Brazil, from Asia to North America. And the same thing will happen again this year. We have contributions of performances, of panels, of messages and specials and features. Reggae music is a global phenomenon. It is a gift to Jamaica, from Jamaica to the world.
Definitely.
And we want to just not only express the creative, authentic source of the music and the space where this all began and continues to bubble, but also to connect with the other flowers in the garden that have been planted by the seeds of the pioneers of reggae, from Bob Marley to Dennis Brown, from Toots and the Maytals to you, Roy.
Yes, definitely. And of course, sadly, they've all gone into the next life, as it said. And I wanted to know, what do you take from those artists? That they've passed now, but they're still here in spirit, and you can feel that. And I wanted to know, what do you take from them?
Well, those artists I named are among those architects of the sound.
Yeah.
They are the foundation of the music. They, along with a number of people like Simon Dodd and Duke Reed, have been responsible for creating that Jamaican sound, whether the beat is ska, rocksteady, reggae, dub, or dancehall.
Yeah.
There is a consistent creativity and innovation about Jamaican music that continues to hold sway in the market, continues to be a source sound for other sounds to evolve from. So whether it's reggaeton or it's hip hop, we have our fingers in the growth of global culture, and we have been blessed, and also our blessings with the world, through music and through before the internet, before music videos, it was the sweat and work of people like Bob Marley, of people like Toots and the Maytals, of people like Dennis Brown, who worked tirelessly to take this music to the forefront. And we've seen generations later now, successive generations of reggae artists, ska artists, rocksteady artists. We have seen dancehall artists erupting from Japan to Brazil.
Yeah.
And we want to take this day to honor those pioneers, to honor those traditions, to recognize the cultural, authentic space that created this global phenomena, and to invite the world to celebrate its impact with us.
Wow.
And to kind of light the global community, because we recognize, while we have the starter lineup at word, that there is a very strong team of reggae in the reggae army worldwide, and there are excellent reggae artists all over the world, and we try and connect with and embrace, and also help to showcase not only the artists but the reggae communities that have continued to grow in places like England and Australia and Brazil and South Africa and Zimbabwe and Ghana and so on and so on. So it really is a global movement.
Most definitely. So with this great event on the 1st of July, do you do events as well, all year round, or is there a build up to this particular event?
Well, we do other events, but for Reggae Day, the build up is towards the 24-hour period.
Yeah.
We do involve ourselves in different activities throughout the year, like workshops and particular types of presentations and curating. But we spend the year kind of curating what it is we want to present following year, developing the theme, the story. Every year we try and tell a story from the book of Jamaican music. And showcase a different chapter. Whether showcasing milestone, which is the 50th anniversary of reggae music, or the 50th anniversary of Studio One, and whether we're honoring, particular players, artists, producers, or institutions that have not been responsible for the development of the culture, but also the internationalization. So we are about celebrating from the roots to the brand. From catalog to the current, and to showcase the diversity and the variety of Jamaican sound, and engage the young people in connecting with the root, so that the branches can.
Most definitely, I agree with everything that you've said. That's amazing, first of all. And so, I know you said about Instagram and so on, but you also have a website, is that correct? So people can connect with you on there as well?
Yes, definitely. ireggaeday.com is the hub. Okay. So everything is there if you want. If you're a media house, we have registration there. Register as a media house, you'll be able to access some of the collaterals and the content that we're putting out for the day. And obviously we'd like to hear what you had as well, so that we can expand the schedule of the festival and allow for more audiences across the planet to be able to experience the specials that are created on that day. But also, if you are a promoter or a media house who wants to be involved in Reggae Day, there, please hit us up, because we have a lot of different ways in which we can partner to create experiences in your market, and we're looking for partners to develop this blueprint as both a virtual and physical experience.
Yeah.
So pre-COVID and post-COVID,
we
will have 24-hour broadcast, but we'll also have physical events on the ground, ranging from exhibits and dances to concerts and festivals.
Wow, looking forward to that. Definitely.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Before we say goodbye for now on this particular topic, what's the key message of this festival that you want the listeners to take away from you?
The key message.
Yeah.
Well, International Reggae Day is a 24-hour global celebration of Jamaican music culture. And we invite the world to celebrate with us. In this moment, we are focused on one love as the essential essence of reggae music, as a principle and affirmation that we're blessed to receive from Mark Garvey, that was contextualized by Rastafari, and that has become a worldwide anthem through the work of Bob Marley. And we ask you to join us in July 1, celebrating this tradition, movement, this call to action, and to show your love not just for the music and for the planet around you, by sharing the joy of music with each other, and by expressing yourself on our rally walk, showing it up. And finally, we ask you to plant a reggae tree for July 1.
Wow.
Whatever kind of tree works for you, but do something to give back to the planet.
Wow, what a message. What a message. You know what, sis, it's been a blessing again, to speak with you, and I hope we have more and more conversations. If you ever need anybody on a panel, anybody to talk about, anything you need, just let me know. I'll gladly help you.
Thank you so much, sis, and I look forward to hearing what you have planned for July 1 as well, and to seeing your expression on the rally board, and to speaking to you again. And thank you very much for helping to promote July 1.
Anytime. It's been a blessing. Have a good rest of the day.
Respect.
Blessings.
One love.
One love. Bless up. Bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.